Hey guys, this is our Invincible review, a animated series that debuted on Netflix several weeks ago. Many of you guys have asked for our opinions on it, so here it is. I know it's late. I discovered there's only 8 episodes. We are on episode 5. And by the time you see this, the next episode should be available. We haven't seen that one yet, but we're going to give you our review so far. I just let the boys know about it now. They saw the first episode and the last episode only, so they're missing a little bit of context. I've seen them all.
I read up on the comics, I know.
He's read up on the comics. This is a franchise that is hot right now. They're trying to do a lot with it. So Netflix, not Netflix, but Amazon Prime has got the cartoon, but also Seth Rogen and others are trying to get a live action version of the film done. I'm wondering, it seems kind of pointless now that we've got this series because I'll just say I fucking love it. I love it. This stuff gives even DC animation a run for its money.
They're trying to do a live action for this?
Yes, for this Invincible premise.
Watching this last episode was fucking amazing. The animation they did, the gore and everything.
You can't do
You can't do that on the live.
Exactly.
So I love
that would
this
be
last
so
episode.
expensive.
Yes.
So I mean, honestly, this gives DC Animation a run for its money. DC Animation has not been challenged like this in the past. Marvel, there's some good Marvels, but most of Marvel's animation pales in comparison.
Well, DC live action's mentally challenged, so there's that.
I knew you were gonna say something.
They make bad movies.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm wearing my Joe outfit because, I got, the Superman. Obviously, I love Superman. And, and this is a kind of an alternate telling. I mean, Superman stories could not do what this story does, though they have tried in similar ways. But I really, really like this. And I'll get to why in a second. But let me just go back to the animation. I wrote stuff like we may have a new king in town. Like this, seriously, I come to this every week to see the best in superhero animation. They're smart writing. It's an interesting premise. Great animation. About the only thing that I don't like is some of the forced musical sections with a bunch of contemporary songs injected in there. They kind of stopped that a little bit in later episodes, but that was very prevalent in episodes 1, 2, and I think a little bit in 3. But, the contemporary songs, they're not very good ones. I don't know if they're like, copyright free or something. No, they're not. They're clearly,
Amazon has, every time they do a series, remember The Boys? They throw in everything they possibly can because they're Amazon. They've got all that music licensed already. So like we are going to put it in everything.
So there are several interesting subplots as well. I really love the alternate take on all the heroes that we know. Because obviously in this series, everybody is kind of a ripoff of DC characters and superheroes that we're used to. There's a demon detective who is freaking awesome. I know you guys might have missed this particular character in the episode you've seen. But let me just say, so at episode 1, things kind of start pretty generic.
That's how I felt, because you're like, oh, this
sane.
is amazing. I went to go look at it. I was like, this is all right. Then that final act, I'm like, okay, I'm on board.
Boom! Act 3.
Okay.
At the end of episode 1, you got bloody, shocking.
Yep.
You don't see it coming. It is fucking. It's the boys of the animated world. You know the boys on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it does stuff like that, and it's something that DC would never do. And when DC has tried to do it, like they tried to get a little edgy. You remember that fucking Batman and Batgirl, having sex or some weird shit, and then they tried to do stuff with Joker. They try to do some animated stuff that is cringe and Harley Quinn, and it just didn't work. Yeah. But here, here it fucking works.
Terrible.
And so, and it's what I've always wanted in kind of a mature version. So as I grow older, the audience grows older, and they could do some more of this kind of crazy stuff where eyeballs are popping out and fucking heads are exploding and just shit is going on. And it's like, because honestly, this shit would cost a ton if it was in live action, like you guys said. Like there is fucking shit happening, like with powers. It's going with other powers.
And,
it'd be rated X. You couldn't do it. You cannot do this live action.
So, And it's not necessarily Invincible's fault that it starts rather generic, because they need to set it up in a generic way, or in the way that everybody is familiar with. Everybody's familiar with the super-powered being who is the protector of the world, and then his son, is now trying to find his place in the world. So we have subplots of teenage drama, going to school, trying to balance his
Superman
life.
and Lois.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, it's a good parallel. But at the end of the first episode, you see why. So go watch it if you haven't watched it. If you have watched it, now I'm going to go into spoilers.
Spoilers.
So the whole premise of Invincible is that Omni Man, who is the super... let me just... I should have said this before a second. But Omni Man is the big guy in the series. He's Superman. And his son is Invincible. And he has powers similar to his father. And his father's trying to show him the ropes. The problem is, for no apparent reason, Omni Man murders the entire Justice League, basically. And it is a fucking awesome scene, and Justice League tries their fucking damnedest.
That's what got me hooked.
To stop
I haven't
him.
seen it, though.
Yeah, well, it didn't get you hooked because you didn't go bother to watch the rest of the episode.
Because he said, we're not going to do it now. It's like,
yeah, but if I watch that first episode, I'm fucking binging it, and I'm watching the rest of it, which is what I did. And I think that progressively, and I'll go through episodes 2 to 3, but I want to give you guys an opportunity to talk about, let's just do 1 and 5 so that you have, okay. So, yeah, I mean... when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, this is very interesting. How do you deal with Omni Man? And normally we've done Evil Superman before, right? And it's like, well, I don't give a fucking shit. Eventually they're going to take him down. But it's far more intertwined because there's a family dynamic. It's his father and his son. His son seems to want to do the right thing. He also has a wife who it seems like he loves. And then if you know from the comics, I'm about to spoil it, Omni Man is what is it? Vicarion, Visceron, whatever. He's a Kryptonite. He's from Krypton.
Yeah, they just get sent off to different
parallel,
planets.
right? But that race is a conquering race. They are not necessarily evil, kind of evil. Evil. All right.
Everyone else thinks they're evil. They think they're fine.
That's what I kind of figured, because it's like, yeah, this is my home world, but everyone picks a planet to go help. I was like,
yeah. So exactly.
That sounds like you're dividing and trying to conquer. But
so he's clearing the way for an invasion and a takeover of Earth. Mm-hmm. So, what do you guys think of Invincible?
I think the first episode was... I had a hard time with it. I thought it was so generic and so incredibly boring that if that last 4 minutes, because I don't even want to say the third act because it's only the last 4 minutes of the episode, and it didn't get interesting. I didn't care about any, because this is all stuff like we were so Superman and superheroed out that nothing about the first 90% of the episode grabbed me at all. And then things fortunately got interesting. I actually heard that they weren't going to put that scene until like later on, and I don't think anyone had been watching it. Like anyone who didn't know anything about the franchise would have given it a chance. It is a really interesting story eventually. But I didn't think the first episode was great up until that last point. It was kind of cool watching. I mean, I think that this for me, this series has kind of been, the 2 episodes is like Feast and Famine, where the action scenes are so incredible. They do so many really cool things. I love seeing an animation, and I wish more animated superhero things did things as well. Like watching, I don't remember his name, but like for me, like a Johnny Pridemate, that giant lion man, just do things that he does was like, this was incredible. I want to see more of this. But we, like, so much of the, you're not on time for my date and you're going to be late for dinner. It's like, this is one of the reasons I never really got super into the CW stuff. This is not the part of these shows that I want to watch. So there are parts of this show that I really like, and there are parts of the show that I don't.
Yeah, for me, I feel the same way. The first episode was average for me until the last part. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Then I actually did see the second one where he kind of does a training. And it's in my queue. I haven't finished it, but I watched this one right here. This one kind of like makes me want to go back. I was like, all right, I want to know more what's going on. And obviously, we're spoiler alerts. He's getting his ass whooped. His dad's there. It doesn't help. I'm like, what is going on with this guy?
Yeah, so I think you guys agree more with IGN. IGN gave episode 1, 2, and 3 an overall 6 out of 10. They thought it was generic. They didn't like it.
Yeah, it's
four,
like,
4 and
obviously
5,
the-
they gave
the
an 8
beginning
out
of
of
it.
8 to the 4 and an 8 to the 5. I disagree. I have a different opinion than you guys. I thought that
Yeah.
it was well done, an alternate take on, say, Superman or Superboy, rather. Growing up, I love him flying through the city, learning his powers, and it's just well animated, well written. The dialogue is great. Everything is believable in a way that feels more grounded and real than some of the crazy stuff that you would see in comics that's kind of brushed over. It's not brushed over here. It's like a script doctor has gone through it. Of course, it is the same. It's tropey because it's
You
supposed
still
to
gotta
be.
deal with
It is-
everyday life as well.
It has to set it up generic so that you have the shocking twist, and then you can have a more realistic take. It's basically The Boys on Amazon, only things a little bit reversed, and from a teen's perspective. So you do have the teen drama, and I agree with them that the worst subplot in the show is that the hiding the secret from Amber, and we've seen
You're
it
late to our date.
1,000
You're late
times.
to our date.
Late
You're late
to
to
our
our date.
date. It's the most frustrating and boring parts of these things, as we all know where it's gonna end. I hate that. Like. In that moment, it was like a fucking 2 out of 10. It was like I hated it.
And
3.
it's not their
But
fault.
the rest of it, for me, guys, I think I like it much more.
Yeah.
The setup and the payoff.
I'm just so tired of the pearls in crime alley scene, and it's not this series or this comic's fault that everyone has done it so many damn times that I don't care anymore. It would be it's kind of necessary, but the issue is we've seen it so many times that I just don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't want to watch the Waynes die in crime alley anymore. Is what I'm getting to, and that's what the first 90% of the first episode was. Yeah. And I wanted more of the realism that you were talking about here.
You get that in the here.
Well, in episode 1, he calls
4.
the entire Justice League to fight him simultaneously instead of individually. And it's like, I wanted him to murder them individually. That would have been more of like the grounded realism thing, because he almost dies fighting them all simultaneously.
That's way cooler setup. I mean, it's done for coolness, but I mean, you kill them individually. That would have been cool too.
That's really brutal. Well, I want him to be brutal.
Stuff.
I want him to be like this villain that.
There's nothing more brutal than what I saw. Okay, I did disagree. I'll shut up.
I just think that it's, if we wanted like the realistic type thing where it is the boys, he doesn't bring them all to fight them all in the 5v1.
I'm
and
not
almost
saying
die.
it's realistic in that way. I'm saying that they often call things out that aren't really called out. And you're going a little meta on a crazy action sequence that they wanted to do over the top. Of course, all of these heroes and villains would isolate each other and not fight in that kind of situation. But it was done for that shocking moment. But okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. So let me just go through, because you're like, I don't like some of this stuff and I like some of the other stuff. You get more depth on some of the stuff that you like in 2, 3, and 4. So here's 2, 3, and 4. So in 2, you get the Global Defense Agency basically nursing Omni Man, because you're right, he got his ass kicked. He barely won. And Alex is right. I mean, why would you do that if you are trying to conquer the world?
Be smart about it.
Be smart about it.
Yeah,
he wasn't smart about it. Maybe he's just a dumb guy. I don't know. But so they get some suspicion on him, because it's like, what? Who? You didn't even see him? You know everything. You fight everything, and you're not telling us anything. So the GDA is like, what is going on here? And then Mark recognizes that his classmate Adam Eve is a superhero too, and they form a friendship before he starts dating this other girl. And then this episode has great action with these Flaxians that do this alien invasion of their planet.
I did see that one with the
wristbands.
Yeah.
They keep coming back over and over, trying to conquer with some clever things. And Mark Grayson is struggling to fight them, and the team is struggling to fight them. And I love sort of the escalating situation and the dire situations that the characters are put in, and the danger is there, and I like that. So eventually they overcome the aliens, And with the help of sort of the Teen Titans, group, who is led by a fucking jerk, Rex.
I
Greatest
love
voice
him.
actor ever. Him and Dirty
I love
Randy.
him.
So
Jason is the best.
So that guy is in a
He's
lot
from
of
the-
wonderful TV
He is
shows.
the worst fucking character.
Well, no, he
in
is,
this
but
one.
that
He is.
Why
guy.
do you love him? You love the actor.
The
right?
actor.
love
He's
the
he's
actor.
he was in The League. He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's worked with Seth Rogen, who's an
I
executive
really
producer
love
on the show.
Yeah.
I
And
hate
so
it. I hate this character.
Oh yeah,
I
he's
hate
so,
this character.
Yeah, but he's just a great guy.
Anyways,
That
if you
voice
spend
actor-
time with him, it's like you're
Oh,
supposed
he's a
to hate him.
douchebag. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
You're supposed. I think you're supposed to hate him in everything he's in, but you're just like, man, that guy's great.
Okay. Well, if you didn't watch this, it's good. So, anyways, elsewhere you have the demon detective, this Damien Darkblood, and he's investigating the Guardian's death, and he's
Hellboy gang.
theorizing that the killer is actually one of the 8 heroes that was in that room. And he's not. He's got some theories. He's not quite right, but why does he investigate? Well, it's like his way of trying to get out of his curse. He's cursed, and he's just investigating. It's a cool character. Anyways. That's episode 2. It sets it up that somebody is investigating Omni Man. He's getting close, and then you've got this Teen Titans, and you've got Mark Grayson trying to learn how to save the planet. Episode 3, Who You Calling Ugly? After a televised funeral, for the Guardians, you get Dark Blood questioning Nolan privately now. Nolan is Omni Man and basically hinting that he thinks he's the one that does it. I'm like, oh shit, Omni Man just kills him, but he doesn't. He's restrained. And then Cecil commissions Robot to form a new Guardians. And here's where I disagree with this choice. They choose Rex from the Titans. He's a shitty fucking character. He throws fucking, what is it? He's like Gambit, I guess.
Yeah,
Gambit.
he
And
throws
no,
magnetic
he's-
letters
he's-
from the
you-
refrigerator.
like
You
Gambit.
don't lie. You haven't even seen the fucking episodes with what are the shit that he does.
Right,
cheats
you've
on
only
his
seen the
Cheats
second
on
girlfriend.
his
one. I haven't
girlfriend.
seen
He's a
that.
piece
I heard
of
about
shit.
it.
He's a terrible teammate.
Yeah.
He makes fun of this little girl who we see in episode 5
Yeah, I
because
saw
he's like,
that
why
now.
are you joining the team? It's like, she's way better than you. Our powers are way better than you. And she fucking embarrasses him in front of everybody. They have a fight because they have like tryouts, like mystery men. People show up and they have shitty powers and they don't make the team. And somehow Rex makes the team. No, it doesn't make any sense. Because at the end he's like, oh, and Rex is in too. And everybody else is like, what? So it's supposed to be this like, what the fuck is this guy here for? He's fucking up the team. He's always fucking shit up. Anyways, but eventually, Darkblood, the detective, kind of tells Omni-Man's wife, and he's in Omni-Man's house, and this shit is like, fuck, like, you don't fuck with Omni-Man, and he's like, you ever show up to my house again, like, it gets fucking serious, but he plants that seed in his wife's head, and now she's like, what the fuck? And she's starting to see some odd behavior with him. He's acting more aggressive, more violent. He's teaching his son how to do his superhero powers, but he's not really teaching him in the caring way that she would. Meanwhile, we get the stuff that we don't really like, where Mark has to handle. He's dating Amber now, and he's like constantly showing up late. Then we go on to episode 4, Neil Armstrong, Eat Your Heart Out, and this is where Mark decides to volunteer to go to Mars because humanity is landing on Mars for the first time, and it's like, hey, humans need to feel good about themselves too. Can you go keep yourself hidden? This has to be our achievement, but I want you to protect them. So he goes there, and of course there's Martians, there, Martian Manhunter. He's like, he should be all right, but no, they're not all right. They're kind of jerks, and they order their execution to prevent these little squids that mind control from destroying the universe, because these squids attach themselves to humans, and so that's why they're trying to get rid of these humans and these squids, because the squids have taken over Mars. So they fight the Martians, they fight these squids. Great action sequence, lots more action as there are in the other episodes, and it's just really fun. Mark's trying to deal with that. Nolan and Debbie, the husband and wife, Omni Man and his wife, try to reconsole. They go to Rome to rekindle their relationship. But again, he's got some dark tendencies. He's like, do you trust me? And she's like, and then there's a dragon in the background, like killing civilians, and he's like, well, I'm not gonna help until you tell me you trust me, and stuff like that. He's like letting people die, and she's like, yeah, yes, I trust you. And he goes deals with the dragon. So he's showing some darker tendencies, and then Cecil, the GDA leader realizes that Omni Man is the killer by this episode. He's doing his own investigations, but he cannot act until he figures out the motive. And he can't be having Darkblood, this detective, stirring the pot. He tells Darkblood several times, stop stirring the pot, and he doesn't listen to him. So Cecil has to show that he's got some muscle too. He's got the ability to teleport wherever he wants, but he finds a way to banish Darkblood back to hell. And so he's like, nah, yeah, he goes back to hell, unaware that the detective already hid his notepad in Devi's closet with all of his findings. And then that's when we base it. Oh, and then we also get a subplot of the robot who leads the new team from the Teen Titans team. He monitors like all this shit going on. He's like monitoring everything, and he's stealing DNA samples from Rex to, like.
Very mysterious.
Like, yeah, he's collecting all these DNA samples. And then that's when we get to this episode. So if y'all guys could talk about episode 5.
It's about 30 minutes of Invincible being late to dates and getting chastised. And we get some cool stuff with
I'd
Titan.
say it's 15 minutes of that and
half, yeah.
half and half.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of fighting, a lot of really good.
A lot of cool action.
There is some
scenes,
really,
like
really good action. They explore the whole Titan storyline where they try to explain the difference between local heroes and
Yeah, they
and big-
introduced a new character, this Titan.
Well, he was in episode 1.
He was already in episode 1. I think.
Yeah, he was in
I don't remember.
he's a
Okay.
bank robber in episode
Oh,
1.
Yeah, he was a
okay,
hired-
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
and so we get a little bit more backstory, and we find out that some people are acting locally and some people are acting globally, and so he's like, you don't know what we're doing down here, and then Invincible, rather than say, bitch, I just saved the Earth yesterday from throwing an asteroid, he goes, okay, and he just kind of rolls over on the fact, and so
There's a machine head guy who's kind of like a Lex Luthor with a voice modulator who's stupid.
Auto-tuning.
T-Pain, the bad guy.
It's funny.
Who's like the giant crime lord. He runs the drug scene and he burns down buildings, and so it's like
Titan is supposed to be like, well, I don't wanna be a criminal.
I want to
Help
get
me.
out of this thing. I want to get under his thumb. Help me take him down. And it doesn't work because they go invade his headquarters, and Machine Head has his teleporting buddy Isotope bring in a Johnny Pride mate and the Electro dude
and a battle beast named Thok, who's supposed to probably Thor, right? Thok.
Thok is badass.
Yeah, he is.
And
He fucking brutalized.
he brutalizes everybody. And then there's like weird stomach tissue man. There's a bunch of like random people in there that
Yeah.
don't really do anything. But Thok is awesome, and I want to see more of Thok.
Oh,
so this is the thing is where I have
better.
issues with the show personally. Is there's parts of the show that we've seen so many times in the last 60 years of comics where it's like, how do heroes balance the, like, you're going to school and your homework is late and your
You're
girlfriend's
never
mad at
here.
you. And it's like, we get that so much in every other medium and every other storytelling. Like, I'm here for the superhero stuff. I don't necessarily anymore. I don't care about those two things. And so I don't care about that stuff anymore. But they do the action stuff so well
Yeah.
here. And that action scene is actually long. It's not. It's a really drawn out fight. And
I
they
loved
really
it.
go into like how these powers interact, and they do a really, really good job. And so like this part is really, really good. And if it doesn't have that other stuff in the middle, I would
Like,
really be
just-
behind the show.
Just Mark Grayson, just fucking tell Amber you're a hero. Like Amber already kind of suspects that like her friend Eve is a hero. So like what? Just everybody. This is a world where people have powers. Just shut the fuck up.
Call them.
Just
Call other
fucking
people and be
tell.
like, I got a date with Amber tonight. I need you to handle this thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a cell phone. They can call other superheroes. He knows Adam Eve. He
Yeah.
can be like, listen, I need you to do this or my girlfriend's going to break up
Well,
with you.
he is at a different power level.
Not than her. She
them.
can manipulate time and space and atoms on like the tiniest level. She is arguably more powerful than he is.
Yeah.
She can just be like, you are split in half.
Yeah, there's multiple ways that he could deal with it, like just fucking telling her because Amber would understand. And anyways, it gets a little frustrating in that sense, and I agree with you. But all the other stuff, including the family drama between Omni Man and his wife, his motivations for killing the team, the GDA, every single other plot line to me is premium quality stuff. This is at the highest level of animation, of superhero-dom, and take alternate takes on the DC universe that the DC universe itself can't really or hasn't really bothered to try. And when they do, it's a little too cringy. It's done well here. So let's get a final verdict. Since you guys seen the first episode, rate the first episode and then rate episode 5.
Okay. For me, I saw 1, 2, and 5. 1 would probably be a 6 for me because like it was pretty average. It was like okay, cool, and then it obviously ramped up those last 3 minutes.
Okay.
But still, it's just those last 3 minutes that I really enjoyed. The rest was just kind of just like, all right, cool. I've seen this before. Like Alex is saying, it's been done. So I would say a 6. Then second one kind of ramped up. It's like, oh, he's learning his powers. He meets this girl and the little attack with the wrist thing. It's going up for me like
with
7.
With the aliens,
yeah, the 7 probably. And I was like,
and
okay,
5.
it's still in my queue. I was like, I'll watch it later. And they're like, oh, we're going to do a review on it.
You
I
have
was
6
like, okay,
to
cool.
watch.
Right.
Go
5,
to 3
this
and 4.
one, I would say a 9 for me. I really enjoyed it. Mind you, yes, that little tropey thing is like, oh, you're late. But everything else about that was amazing.
Yeah.
Fight scenes, it's like, oh, the emotions, like, oh, like I got to help Titan out. He's got a family. He's being held
and then
captive.
some of the heroes are even killed. We kind of skipped over that. It appears that Monster Girl is killed.
That's what I was
It
going to say.
appears that Invincible is knocked the fuck out, semi-killed, but not really. And same with not really with Monster Girl. And there was another one that got knocked the fuck out. Oh, the older, more experienced veteran who came from an older team.
Yeah.
It appears that he was killed. I think that motherfucker's dead. But
Oh.
then they're like
Well, yeah, he
wheeling
got
him
his
out.
arm.
They wheel him
like-
out,
So it's
they
like,
retach
I'm like,
him.
God damn it,
arm ripped
just
off.
fucking kill characters. Don't fucking do this. See, they killed a bunch of characters at the beginning, and now we're doing the stupid
No
bullshit.
one gets
we're
to
doing the
die.
Game of Thrones thing, where it's like, we'll
Yeah,
kill you,
this
and
was-
now we're not killing you.
Yeah, I like the
Anyways.
emotion with the Titan and then his family stuff, and then once
Oh,
you
and
get
the
to
twist is...
the twist, he actually like he's taking over. He's
Yeah.
a new boss.
So Machine Head had this second-hand man with Isotope. They could have just teleported him out, but then it's revealed that Isotope was working for Titan the whole time, or at least has a deal with the Titan, and now he takes over, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to protect my family. And it's like, okay, well, he did have a good motive at heart, but he's going about it wrong.
Yeah. Cool
Yeah.
motive, still murder.
So
Okay,
overall,
9 out of 10.
9.
What about Alex for 1 and 5?
I think 1 is probably a 6. I was at a 4 for like the majority of the time. Like I was not enjoying it, and it was really weird because like normally we are in agreement on most superhero stuff. And you're like, you got to watch this. This is amazing. And I was sitting there going like, I hate this. This is terrible.
It's like,
I am so tired of this shit. I don't want to watch this. If this is with this episode, and those last few minutes, and really it is only a few minutes of the whole episode, does it actually get good or interesting? And they just. I hated the first part of 1, but the highs were so high in episode 1 that it does bring it back up, and I do agree that 6 is where it's at. But man, it could have been bad. 5, I'll probably give a 7. I think that again, it just had amazing highs. There was some really interesting stuff going on. I just think that they haven't. If this is the balance that they want. I'm gonna struggle with the whole series, and I don't care if it's comic accurate. And I'm tired of that excuse from people where it's like this is the way it was in the comics. It's like, look,
It actually kind of veers off from the comics.
yeah,
in
I've actually
several
read
ways.
that Reddit does, and so if even though that this whole like, well, I'm late to how many times was he late in this episode? A lot.
Yeah.
It was
And he was late in
4
other
times?
episodes.
It was
that you
too
haven't
many.
seen.
It was at least 4 too many in this episode. And if they'd cut all of that out and even just made the episode shorter,
I don't
would've
think
liked it.
that. Yeah, good. Keep going.
And
Sorry.
it would have do it once, and then I get the point. Like you don't need to do it over and over and over. Like these episodes, they don't feel too short where I feel cheated if they'd cut those things out. So I think this goes up to about a 7 for me. It's good TV. I'm interested in watching the other ones, but I'm
I'll go
constantly gonna be
back.
worried about the balance of like I don't want any of the CW shit in these shows
Yeah.
because we get that stuff in every single type of TV. Like we're here for the superhero stuff.
Okay, I have a much different opinion. The first episode, y'all are at a 6. I actually enjoyed the setup, because for me, as a big Superman fan, it was interesting seeing a growing up story. I've always wanted, when you're a little boy, you want to have powers like Superman, and this is basically that story. But it's also cool because you have a Superman there too, your father. It's fucking cool. So I liked all that drama before, and then that fucking scene at the end just puts the episode way over the top, and I wanted to share it with everybody that I knew. I wanted to make a review right then and there, but unfortunately, it took this long to do. So that one I'd probably give fucking 9, 8. I'll go 8 because we've seen it a few times. I understand what Alex is saying. I mean, these comics came out in 2000s. It's been like 20 years, right? The thing released 20 years ago, so we've seen this over and over, and I can see it wearing on some people. But it was interesting for me. Then episode 2, I would probably give. Let's see, the alien invasion, I really liked him trying to figure it out, him figuring out his place. I'll give it another 8. So we'll go 8, 8. And then 3, that kind of, there's a little less action, a little more intrigue. I would say it's probably the only episode that has a little bit of a dip, maybe a 7, because there wasn't a whole lot in there, mostly set up. Episode 4, for me, goes back up to an 8 out of 10. And then this final episode that we've seen, episode 5, That Actually Hurt is what it's entitled. And that was, I agree with Joe, it's like a 9 for me. The stuff with Amber and his time management skills, that's not enough to knock it a ton of points. It knocked it 1 point for me because everything else was pretty fascinating and interesting and well done with the animation and stuff. So there's only 3 episodes left. You'll be seeing one of those episodes here in the next day. And I'm interested to see how they will do this because it's not wrapping up, right? So I think they're trying to set up for a season 2, and I don't know if a season 2 has even been ordered yet. And they obviously Seth Rogen with there's great voice actors in this.
Yeah.
Of course, J.K. Simmons, Mark Hamill is
Jason.
in this. Stephen Yeun from
Can't say his last
Walking
name.
Dead. There's Jason Mantzoukas.
Yes.
I don't know who he is, but anyway,
He's amazing.
He's amazing, apparently. An amazing guy that you hate. So there's 3 episodes. So I think where it'll go, and we may do a wrap-up episode once it's done and announce if there's been a second season, is obviously it will be revealed that Omni Man is evil. He's the one that killed, and now we're about to have the invasion, and then right before the invasion, then it's a season 2. Maybe kind of thing.
Oh, I think it's going to land on the...
It's going to be big blue balls for people that don't know the fucking story. And I know I spoil it here for you, and I kind of ruined the whole thing for you if you're watching. But I did say spoilers.
And
Yeah.
just put
I already
spoilers.
read what happened.
It
I
is,
already know.
it is. I mean, but it's not fair because it's a comic book that's 20
Been out
years
20 years.
old.
It was really
so-
easy for me to find all the comics online.
I couldn't help myself. I love the series so much. I went and I researched the comics. I started reading some of them, and then I read ahead. So I kind of did the same. I just realized now maybe I should have kept it separate. Well, I did put a spoiler.
You specifically said spoilers.
All right.
I think it ends right as he goes, "I want you to join me," and then black screen.
Yeah.
Or
Star
they
Wars.
start fighting like stop it, Dad, and then and he beats the fuck out of his son, and then that's where they end it. And he has
But
to
then he
find a
can't
way.
die because his name is on the show.
Oh, and another cool thing here is at that bloody fucking thing where it looks like his son dies to the Thor,
His
rip-off.
guts.
Johnny.
His guts. just go-
his blood goes everywhere. His father was watching. His father's outside,
Yeah.
just like letting him. It's like he's like you got to fail. You're on your own or something.
Well, this is the
I don't know
weakness
what
of the human, the half human in you. I told you not to fucking do this. You
exactly.
goddamn idiot.
Exactly. So we'll see.
Beneath
I mean, he
you.
could have gone in there. Omni Man could have gone
He
in there.
could've.
Fucking destroyed everybody easily. So that dynamic is very.
I do want to
interesting,
see
very
Omni
cool.
Man versus Catman.
Thok. Yeah, I hope we get a Thok versus Omni Man. Omni Man just fucking rips him.
I was
I
gonna-
don't want it to happen. I want there to. Omni Man should win, but I want there to be a good fight. I don't want it just.
You don't
want
to see Invincible versus Thok like a rematch?
No.
Why I was going to give this a 10 because it's like, oh, he's outside. He's going to show up and start fighting with that guy. It's like, oh, that
You
would
would've
have
given it a
sweet.
10.
Yeah.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah, I think I
Come
would have
on.
too. Anyways, so that's it for episodes 1 through 5. I'm gonna force these guys to watch the rest, and that
watch
way
it
we
this
have greater
weekend.
context. When the whole series ends,
Let's
we'll
get
give
2
you
more.
the rest of our 3 review episode ratings, and then the series as a whole by the end. And we just highly, highly recommend Invincible. For me, I highly recommend it to you. Watch this instead of Thunder Force, okay? If you're gonna waste 2 hours of your time, watch 2 episodes of this, and you're already way better than Thunder Force.
Well, Thunder Force is like 9 hours long, so you could watch this. You could watch every episode.
It feels nice.
It slows down time.
This is just fantastic DC movies each episode, right? And DC animation,
There's some
like
good DC stuff
millions
coming
of
out I'm
dollars
excited
for
for.
each of those films. We're getting a
Is it
film
sarcasm?
every week, in
No,
my
there is
opinion.
animated DC.
That
stuff.
is the
Oh.
greatest recommendation I can give to you guys. Go out and check it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please support our show. If you want to go above and beyond, we have links to our Patreon down below. It allows us to do these kinds of side episodes whenever we can and whenever we have some free time for you guys. Thank you for supporting us. Get some merch and subscribe. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Bye, guys.